Hello everybody. So came out to Rumple's Reptiles again today. We're gonna do a little video about the Rodent Room and talk about the different aspects of it. So
all right, yeah, so this is the Rodent Room, and pretty much just gonna try to get a little more in depth with what goes on, how this whole setup works, kind of get your estimated production if you want to breed your own to feed your snakes. So basically the way I do it is these are my breeder totes. You can get them at Menards or Lowe's. They are 21-gallon totes.
the actual black tub.
Yeah, these are concrete mixing tubs. And as you can see, you can keep. I try to keep around 7 females. I did kind of bump my numbers to 10 females approximately per tote with 1 male. So in doing so, I mean, you can see this is another colony that I did. And with breeding this many rodents as well, you're gonna have some that are gonna die off, have complicated pregnancies, potentially pass away. So I started doing a little heavier colonies because I know that, you know, some of them ain't gonna last. As you can see, we got a whole bunch of pinks there, fuzzies, different sized babies.
So with 7 females, are each tub pretty much always gonna have babies?
In theory, yes. So the way I look at it is it's about 28 days or 4 weeks. So we'll say like 25 to 30 days that they're actually pregnant for. So it'll take a month for them to breed and for them to have their babies. And then from pinkies up to weaned rats, maybe small rats, it takes about another 4 weeks. So if you have, just to make the numbers easy, let's say I have 10 females in this tote. So every 8 weeks at 10 females, and let's just average it out and say they have 10 babies apiece. So that would be 100 babies every 8 weeks that you should produce on average out of this one tote. Alright, so once we get all the, so that's our breeding colony, so to speak. And once they hit the weaned or the smalls, I then take all my weaned and smalls and I run them in these smaller, what I call holdback racks, which are still concrete mixing tubs. And I believe they're 7 gallons if I remember correctly.
So they're a little bit smaller.
But yeah, they're about half the size, a third the size. And I'll run, it depends. I'll run on the size of them, I suppose.
So you separate them out by size and then put them in these totes?
Yeah, once I pull them out of my breeder totes, they just go in here. I pull the whole colony out, or the whole, all the litters out. I don't leave any behind.
So these are the ones you're gonna sell, and these are the ones you're gonna feed to your own reptiles?
Yeah, all of the above. And I just like them in this tote because if you noticed, it's shorter. And I have to feed all my rats, well, everybody has to feed their rats through the wire mesh here. Because the rat's teeth will actually never stop growing. So their teeth will actually grow and their mouth will grow shut because their teeth grow too big. So by feeding them through this wire mesh right here, or hardware cloth is what it's called, they get their food through here, and those little wires, you know, it grinds down their teeth and it wears on them.
Does that reduce the likelihood they're gonna chew through the tote too, or?
I don't think so.
No.
Any rodents that do chew on my totes, I immediately call them all off. And they learn from each other, so if it's only one chewer, but I got 50 other rats in there, all 50 of them rats gotta go immediately too. Because it's something that they can learn.
Yeah.
So we don't even want them to think they could chew through them. Because that's a nightmare in itself.
Yeah.
And again, I think we already went over this, but the watering system, I do this to keep it basic, simple, and easy. All these tubes you see running around, this whole room is ran off of those 3 totes up top over there. It's all a gravity-fed watering system. And you can get all those supplies from reptilebasics.com if you're interested anyways.
So it uses these little nipples?
Yep. I'll pull one of them out here for you. And all it is they just, you know, just got to move that nozzle a little bit and then the water will start dripping.
Yep.
I mean, it gets going pretty good.
Yeah.
But it's a spring and a couple O-rings, and like I said, it's a gravity-fed watering system. And ReptileBasics.com has all these supplies.
So now we're gonna talk about the mice a little bit.
Yeah, mice I've had issues with. They're very cannibalistic. And I don't know, I just feel like it's a pain in the butt with the mice. They're a lot harder to breed than the rats. Different animals, so to speak. But I built this rack specifically, and originally I think I only had like 2 or 3 females in here, maybe 4 at most, and I'd rotate the male. But now what I'm doing is I'm keeping anywhere from 4 to 6 females in here and doing 1 male, which in turn I have to clean a lot more. But at the same time I feel like the colonies are going a little bit better. And again, same concept as with the rats, but you got to use 1/4 inch hardware cloth or wire mesh, whatever you want to call it. So that way they can grind their teeth down, and you know, same concept as the rats. If they don't grind their teeth down, their teeth will grow, their mouth shut, and then they'll end up starving.
And they use the same watering system.
And it's the same
Still
watering
hooked in.
system. The only thing you got to do different is cut out a 1/2 inch square, which is 4 little cuts, and then that nipple fits right on in there perfectly. Beforehand, so yeah, these are the colonies. Like I said, 1.4, or the 1 point is a male, a 0.4 would mean females. That's with reptiles and with animals. So here you can see 2, 4, 6, so that's a 1.5, and you know, got a nice group of little babies there. So this is the new system, and then once they reach hoppers and weaned on the baby aspect, or if I have any adult females that need to get retired or males, then I'll move them into this rack over here, which again is, you know, them 7-gallon tubs. All these are empty.
Kind of your holdback tubs.
And these are the holdbacks for the
mice.
mice.
Why do you
Yeah.
use the 1/4 inch over the 1/2 inch between the rats and the mice?
So 1/2 inch is too big because mouse fuzzies and mouse hoppers can climb out.
Climb out, yeah.
Yeah. So you got to use the 1/4 inch on the mice.
Right now.
Do you feel like you sell just as many mice as rats, or are most reptile people into the rats?
Well, in my experience with the rodents so far, the ball python market is the biggest market, hands down, in the reptile industry. So I do sell quite a few mice, but usually it's whenever some of my breeders that come here and that pick up their rodents have hatchlings.
Yeah.
There's a few people with colubrids and whatnot that come over, but generally it's a ball python market. So I really don't sell quite as many mice as I do rats. Hands down, I sell a lot more rats than mice, drastically.
All right. What kind of food do you feed? The same food to the mice as the rats? And
Yeah, same food, doggy bag dog food right here.
has less red dye, or doesn't have any red dye in it?
No red dye. Yeah, you want to stay away from red dye. It causes cancer in the mice and the rats, and it also, you know, that's not good for your snakes in turn, or your reptiles. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I try to keep it also climate controlled. I got air conditioners. I got an exhaust fan that's up top in the ceiling. It's kind of hidden right now that we had to install. And then I leave the doors open and whatnot. I also got a heater downstairs. I try to keep it anywhere from 65 to 75 degrees in here year round, which is difficult when you also got to consider airflow and with the temperature differences in the middle of summer and the middle of winter.
So with how big your setup is, about how many rats do you have?
Well, I would say, so I got 6, 12, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 27. I have 33 breeding totes. We'll say they average out to 7 females apiece. So there's 210, there's 200, we'll say 230 females alone. So probably 250 breeding rats in total, which would produce So we'll just keep an easy number, 200 times 10. I'm producing about anywhere from 1,500 to 2,500 rats a month, on
Alright.
top of from 200 to 250 females.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah,
All right.
and I think that's pretty much wraps up the rodent room.
All right, awesome.
Hell yeah.
See you later.